Greetings, everyone. I am Queen Diambi Kabatuswila Chiyomuata, Mukalenga Mukajiwa, Kashama, Wabakwa Luntu, Wabaluba, Wakasai, Wa Congo. That is Woman King of the Order of the Leopard of the Bakwaluntu people who are part of the Luba of Kasai in the Democratic Republic of Congo. I am also Grande Mãe do Povo Banto Brasileiro and Reina de los Congo de Panama. I greet you, sons and daughters of Cabo Verde, descendants of our mighty ancestors. I celebrate with you this day of May 25th, this very important day to reconnect with who we truly are, to make sure that we give tribute to our ancestors, that we work on recovering our identity. The sons and daughters of Africa has paid a very heavy tribute to the development of many other societies and the so-called Western civilization. Our ancestors were the commodity that made these lands rich, not only because of the commerce of their person, but also because of their hard work that was never retributed with proper finance and wealth. We come from mighty people. We have been the one at the foundation of every single civilization. For thousands and thousands of years, we were the ones who were the civilization builders. We can already, by now, prove that 10,000 years ago, we had very, very elaborate and grand cultures and civilization. We were at the base of the civilization of Kemet that came after civilization that pre-existed in the Congo Basin. A lot of you, my dear, come from the Congo Basin. The Congo Basin is the huge center of Africa. Many of you also come from the family of West Africa. And we are there today to celebrate this heritage. It is time that the African people start to learn about who they truly are, start to learn who they descend from, and do not accept the dictate of our history from those same people who came to colonize and destroy our kingdoms. For centuries and millennium, actually, we had very prosperous kingdoms all throughout the continent. The Luba kingdom, or actually the Luba Empire, was composed of many kingdoms of people speaking Luba, like my people, the Luntu people, and many more. We had the Ngola Empire. We had many, the Songhai Empire, the Mali Empire. We had so many empires around and kingdoms around Africa. The history of disrupting Africa is not new. It's been going on for a long time. And although we are not here to put the history on trial, we have to be the one taking the initiative to recover our memory, to remember. And remember means something. Remember means to recall all the information that made us potent and important and made us pioneer to build civilizations all over the world. But remember also mean to remember, put all the members back together. And Africa needs all her people. No matter where you are in the world, you belong to a greater African kingdom. And I am so proud to be part of the work that is going on in Cabo Verde. I was blessed to come to Cabo Verde twice, and I wish to come again many more times to continue to do the work that the mighty ancestors like Amilcar Cabral and others did to fight not only for our independence, but also for our sovereignty and our ability to have self-determination. It doesn't suffice that we are independent on paper. It is also important that we are capable of leading our own destinies. For that, we will need to have our youth to be very well educated and understand who they truly are. Because once you do know who you come from, you're going to understand the scope of your great potential, not only to recover, but to elevate yourself. And for that, we are responsible to do the work. We are responsible to seek and find out our history. We are responsible for connecting with the great African scholars and the African intelligentsia to know the real story of what happened and to reframe, I should say, the narrative about who are African people. Too many have suffered from the Stockholm syndrome, being ashamed of who they are because they believed what the colonizers and the oppressors told them that they were. It is time that we take the lead in changing the narrative about who we are. We need to know that we were the ones doing mathematics 25,000 years ago. We were the one building monuments to elevate us, understanding all the astronomy, all the alignments of the star, even to the point that we knew the center of the galaxy, and I'm talking about 10,000 years ago. We understood the nature, the very nature of existence. We are the ones who derived the laws of nature by observing nature for thousands and thousands of years. We are the precursors of the binary code system that is used now to program every single computer. We are the ones who masters fractal mathematics, the most sustainable model of development ever existing in the world. We have a very, very good understanding of the ecosystem in which we operate. We understand that every living being and every being that is on this planet has a spirit and is connected to the same source as we are. We need to regain this strength, and we can, because our ancestors were resilient enough so we can be here surviving all kinds of abuse, surviving traumatic events, including many genocides on the continent, including capture, deportation, rape, mutilation, assassination, and all kinds of tortures. Yes, we were burnt, but we were not defeated, because all of you are there today celebrating this demand for unity. Our youth need to demand unity of the African people. All those borders and barriers that were put by others for us to keep us divided from each other are no longer valid and can no longer be valid. During the Berlin conference, none of our kings were around the table. None of the representatives of our people were around the table to decide the fate of our lands. Today, we have all these 54 countries in Africa. And although we respect their sovereignty, we are demanding and we are asking that the people of the land understand that we are one. We want to work as one. We want to see together what is the best interest of each other. And we want to apply the principle of Ubuntu, those ancestral principles that made it so that Africa flourished for thousands of years. We need to revert back to Mahat, because Mahat is the teaching of righteousness, of honesty, of loyalty, of peace and harmony. So my dear friends, my dear sons and daughters, my dear mothers and fathers, my dear brothers and sisters, I congratulate you for your initiative, and I want you to understand one thing: you are welcome home in the Congo, and we want to be welcome home in Cabo Verde, because you have made that land sacred land for all Africans. So you are welcome, and I congratulate you, and I celebrate along with you, and I wish you all the best. And please keep on doing the work of restoring your dignity, of restoring your pride, of restoring your beautiful, complex, and magnificent identity. You are not slaves. You were never slaves. You were always captive and kept against your will in forced labor camp. That's all it is. That's the same with those who stayed on the continent, captives on their own land in forced labor. Today, we have to regain the identity of our sovereignty and also take our positions as the elders of humanity, because we only started to leave Africa 70,000 years ago, and we went everywhere in the world to bring civilization. And things only start changing only a few thousands of years ago. So that's going to be for another discussion. But I tell you, my dear friend, that for 400,000 years, we have been on the continent of Africa, and we have prospered in so many ways. And we need to teach our children who they are. They are descendants of mighty people, and they contain all the strength, beauty, intelligence, creativity, ingenuity of all the ancestors. So they are all the ancestors. I salute you. I bless you. Muito obrigada.